Welcome back to another career tiny home in The Sims 4. Career tiny homes in The Sims 4. Sims 4. The M's military. Ta-da! Immediately knew I wanted this to be a build in the Strangerville world. That is where you get the military career. It just felt fitting, okay? Felt very right to have it here. And don't come for me, okay? But I wanted to make a tent, a house tent, a mobile home of sorts without it being like a camper. I thought a tent was fun vibes, okay? I thought it was a little silly. It's definitely something you could use just a little more than what I create this house for. But it felt super fitting, okay? It just seemed right to me. When you think of military housing, my first thought at least is a very suburban looking home in a neighborhood, picket fence, somewhere that, you're stationed there. They've got you there. Okay. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of have a mobile unit, if you will. And this is my interpretation. We're not going to get offended. I'm not in the military. I've not been close to anybody who's been in the military other than my dad who was in the Navy. This is all just for giggles, okay? For the fun and sake of it being a military career. If you don't like it, sorry about it. But I thought it'd be fun to make this place off the grid, except for the lights. I can take away a lot of things. I can say, hey, Sim, you can't have these things, but I need lights. So we've got some saucer lights. You have a generator. You'll be fine. Okay. But pretty much this whole house, minus the lights, can function off the grid. So you can always get in there and take the lights out if you would like to. I kept them. Other than that, I just tried to grab things that I thought looked like, hey, this is worn down. This could be mobilized. This could go on the road with you real easy. Pack it on a truck. The counters that I used are Snowy Escape. So looks like you could take some wood and nail together these counters. I liked that thought. I thought it was really fun to do. I have maybe done an off the grid house once in my life. And so it wasn't true off the grid, but close enough. Okay. I went back and forth between these two curtains. You got the werewolf's like draped sheet curtain versus this like oversized, I oversized it, rounded curtain. I just tried to decide what looked more tent-like. I end up, spoiler alert, I end up going with the werewolf one. I liked the ruggedness of it. But here we go. I was talking about those Snowy Escape counters. I liked it. I liked the look of it. I felt like that looked like something, you could make. It may not be the best quality if you make it, but you could make it, okay? And thinking about it now, maybe I should have made this a 32 tile home. I definitely don't need those extra 8 tiles. So it's easy to shrink, but I kind of kept it on the bigger side, that medium size of tiny home. It's not a micro home. It's not a small home. It's that sweet middle spot. And then I use things like the outdoor kit, outdoor adventure. What is it called? Outdoor adventures for things like the sink and even the shower. I had a lot of fun playing around with this one. It's not dingy, dirty, but all the furniture is very worn, very on the go. Don't hate me, but we use some Star Wars, which I feel like I often find a place for Star Wars in my build. I know people aren't a huge fan of it. I can understand and sympathize, but I grew up on Star Wars and it's a little bit of a weird one for The Sims, right? But I can find ease with it. And I hope that doesn't make you mad. Hope it doesn't, because people are real fired up about Star Wars, but I like it. I get to use it in this kit. I use the little cargo on the go looking seat. I know I have a ton of them out right now, but it just felt fun. My thought was that if it's not something that you would pack up and take with you, it's something that you could throw away. So if I had used an old couch, my thought was they would leave it behind if they had to go wherever their next assignment, leave their tent, leave their area, pack up their tent, and take these things with them. We use the older TV, and then we use that little outdoor table. It's very colorful, but I actually use it in the black swatch. Once again, you're going to sense a theme of something that could be packed up, taken on the go. I do give your sim a laptop because you have certain things that you're going to need to excel in your career. For the military career, you're going to need logic, and specifically, you're going to need a chess table, you're going to need a telescope, you'll need a computer, and you need a way to practice fitness. And so I try to check all those boxes. And that's what these career tiny homes are, okay? They are a way for you to say, hey, I want to play this career. How can I get there faster? What do I need? Tiny homes are great to build your skill. If you don't know, tiny living is top tier. You get tiny homes. And in those, there are micro homes, there are tiny homes, and there are small homes. 32, 64, and 100 lot tile requirements, maximums, if you will. In a micro home, which is 32 tiles, you get things like lighten the load. You're going to use less energy. Your bills are going to be cheaper. Your relationship gains are doubled. Your plants will grow twice as fast. You're feeling fine all the time. So your happy, inspired, focused buffs last longer. Everything is twice as cozy. And the best part, the key part to tiny homes, is that skills increase at a double rate. Iconic. Beautiful. We love her. She is the reason we do this. Am I getting too close to the screen? I'm like whiting out. As you get into smaller homes, those things go down. So in a tiny home, tier 2, max 64, so you can see it says at the top of the screen, you've placed 40 of 64 tiles for this tier. I can place more tiles and make this place bigger if I want to. But with that, you're still getting 4 of those perks. Everything is twice as comfortable, lower bills, you're feeling fine all the time again, and you get that skill increase again. Iconic. We love her. This is the sweet spot. Up to 64 tiles gives you a ton of room and a ton of space for you to be able to do whatever you need to do. 100 tile homes are still great. So from 65 to 100, you're in the small home zone, and your bills are less still, and you're feeling fine all the time. Those are great things to have. But for the sake of what I'm doing with these career tiny homes, we really want that spot. I've done, I think, 200 tier homes. And I always say this, the police officer career, you don't need any skills. So I got to just do whatever I wanted, and it was fine. But it was still a tiny home. It was a small home. You just didn't get that skill gain. Now, for the gardening career, we use the micro home because that has the perk of your plants growing twice as fast as well as skill gain. Iconic. Okay. So it definitely helped to be able to do a micro home for something like that. All right. I have moved this house all around. As you see, I have turned the orientation. It is now wide and short, right? Like wide and yeah, okay. And I also took off the A-frame tint thing I was going for. The A-frame was just way too tall, and I felt like it took away some of the realism that I was looking for. Obviously, it's The Sims. Nothing is perfect, and that's fine. But the A-frame was just a little too tall, a little too tall. Perfect for a log cabin fill. Not so much for a tent in The Sims. Maybe you could have done a 2-story, but this isn't like Harry Potter, okay? We're not gonna like, boom, cadabra, don't hate me. I love Harry Potter, but I don't know spells. And then this just be like this extendus, I don't know. And this be just this giant tent, okay? It's a decent sized tent, but the A-frame just wasn't working for me. I end up really liking the way that this is laid out. I probably could have got this into micro home area space. I just didn't. But something to think about if you want to go that route. You could easily shrink the house. For rugs, I am using a werewolf's rug, and Get Famous also has a very worn down looking rug. Perfect Like I said, for this mobile unit home, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, I wanted things to be easily packed away or easily thrown out, recycled, no hard feelings. This rug is trash. Let's get rid of it kind of feels. My color theme really was like an orange with green, which is not everyone's vibe. Growing up, my mom used to tell me how much she hated orange and green together. I don't hate it personally, but to each their own. Like, you're entitled to your opinion, and that opinion can be wrong. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Don't be offended. I always tell people, like, you don't know me if you're offended by me, because I would never be offensive. I'm just really sarcastic, and sometimes it can come across a little dry, and it's just one of those things. If you knew me, though, you would know that I would never say anything to offend anyone. Like, I love people. I just like to laugh, and I just think things are funny sometimes, and maybe they are, maybe they're not, maybe they're offensive, to each their own. The bathroom rug, I used the Get Famous rug, and I shrink it down a couple sizes so it fits and looks like a little bathroom rug. And just in case you didn't know, because it took me a long time to know, you see how I'm spinning it around? If you click and hold it and press your Alt button, and you can rotate it and have free rotation. I remember looking it up, trying to figure out how to do it years ago, and not understanding. I mean, like, I'm clicking and I'm like turning it quarterly or whatever when you like press the arrows. I just didn't understand. It didn't click with me. And so if it doesn't click with you, hopefully that helps. Sometimes it takes it being broken down to understand it, So if that helps you, I hope it does. And if you already know, don't be rude to the people who don't know, didn't know. I find that I learn something new in The Sims all the time. And isn't that fun? Like, that you get to learn stuff every single day. It's not like that in life. As an adult, I feel like it's rare to be like, I learned something new every day. And here we are in this game having fun and playing a game and building and decorating, and it being a life sim and a doll sim, and the options are so open with this game, and you get to learn something new. And sometimes it's a game changer, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's really cool to know that. But sometimes you get to find out how to rotate objects and make them look a little more lived in, and that's so cool. We get to do stuff like that. Get to evolve our game, if you will. We get to use the fun little werewolf mailbox. And I like that mailbox. It's not always that you get to use that. It's definitely a little more rustic. Once again, felt like something easy peasy for your sim to just be like, oh, here's a branch. Let me stick it in the ground and shove a box on top. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to cry. That made me laugh. We keep it kind of simple out here. It's the desert, okay? So I have some dead grass. You're going to have things like your chess table, some worn down, broken down chairs. They're like the chairs that you make, but badly. I do give you some gardening plots. You don't need it, but it took up some space and it felt very like on point, something that you could do, grow your own vegetables, flowers, who knows, whatever you want, whatever your heart desires. You might just want to put a roof over it so that the weather doesn't affect it, but you don't have to. Terrain paint. Oh, as you can see, I kind of go crazy. I'm trying to find this like perfect mix of covered but not covered, a little bit of green, but we're still in the desert, because you kind of look back into the land, and see all of this green. So I wanted it to be very reminiscent of that, of your environment. And I think we found like a good medium. I just kind of play around with terrain paint until it looks good to me. Erase it when needed, add when needed, no rhyme or reason, just trying to play around, making it look a little lived in, a little worn, a little dusty. And I really like this house, this tent. I think it's fun. I have all that cargo in the back right there to look like, who knows? What are you packing? I don't know. All that stuff. Maybe it's a little too much. But you also have your little boxing bag. Yeah, boxing bag, a bag to box with, that thing. You can go back there and work on your fitness a little bit. You've got your chess table, your telescope, you have a computer inside in case you need it. Well, you will need it, but it's there. Then it came having fun and decorating the outside a little bit, making it feel a little bit more like your home. I've kind of been doing that, right? We've got these chairs and we have your chess table and your little boxing bag, but twinkle lights because they don't take up much space, but make a big impact when you're trying to live somewhere and make it feel homey. We may not be here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. So we're going to add some twinkle lights. I got a little flag to hang above our door. A skull and crossbones just felt kind of fun. Put a flag out in your front yard. I love how it was coming together. It's so cute and kind of funny. But definitely somewhere that's your sim can live and it's completely playable. Not that you would think, I wonder if that's playable, but it's definitely playable. I had a sim here from the get-go, as you kind of saw. I like to make sure that these houses are play tested. There was an old me who did not play test places. It felt like too much work, but it's really not that much work. And don't you want to know that your work is playable? Like, I'm putting all this time and effort into something cute and fun. I want it to be enjoyed, whether that's by my Sims who are living in it now or by your Sims. I put a radio out here. Do radios break in the rain? There are a lot of things that break in the rain. I feel like the radio will break in the rain. Tell me if I'm wrong. But if it does, fix it. I don't know what to tell you. However, I thought a radio outside was just good vibes all around. You already got the twinkle lights and the skull and crossbones flag. Go on, get your music on. Have fun. Party on. A crate of apples as your nightstand because it's easy to get rid of. You probably picked it up at the grocery store. It was just time for little stuff, okay? Just cluttering this place up, making it feel more like a home. I do want to note that you have books on the shelf in your counters. I put them there and they're fine. Your sim can grab a book and read from that. But if you don't know it's there, then you don't know it's there. But it's there and you can read and grab a book and learn something or, something else. I don't know. But for the sake of taking up less space, not having an actual bookshelf and having your books not actually take up a table or a countertop. Of course, we got to add in a few plants here and there. Add the greenery. You're living in the desert. You need some greenery in your life. And plants always make everything kind of come together, in my opinion. I always feel like there's something missing until I get the plants in there, and it just brings a build together, which couldn't be me. We grew up having like an ivy, and not even grew up having an ivy. I think we got it when I was like 13. Someone gave it to my mom, and she cared for that ivy. And that was the only plant. I didn't know that having plants was like a normal part of life. And now I have plants and it's a normal part of life. And I love it. I love plants. You know this. We know you know this because I talk about plants all the time. I want you to know with the whole off the grid thing, I really contemplated having the saucer lights taken away and putting in some candles and off the grid lighting. And I just hated it. I really did. So, sue me. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't like them. But it's like a fake off the grid, right? Also, as you've seen now, I loved putting the canopy around the bed. It's funny because like in a small studio apartment or in a small home, you may not always have walls and doors everywhere. But the thought that you could go behind your like little canopy and close the canopy so you have some privacy in your bedroom, it just felt really fun and kind of a cool thought. That canopy came with Love Strut. Super fun, easy, and it has a very neutral color. I chose on purpose not to put an actual door in front of your bathroom. You can see that it's been like that the whole way. I just like the vibes of having it opened. I don't know. No rhyme or reason. Having some beads around the door felt very not permanent. You know what I mean? Because who has a wooden door inside a tent? You're gonna like come at me and be like, I do. I have a wooden door in my tent. My tent is really special and fancy. Cool. Really cool for you, bro. I don't think that happens, but there's always that one person, so you never know. I moved the mirror to the other side and it is playable. It's play tested. We've had this conversation. I play test. Hi, I play test. So you don't even have to worry about that. It's play tested. Good to go, bruh. Sorry. I get a little feisty when it's late. Anyways, I love this little tiny home. I think she's cute. She's fun. It's neither masculine nor feminine, in my opinion. It's just kind of ready and waiting for your military sim. More fairy lights. Literally last minute stuff at this point. What I will say is I wanted there to be some sort of rug in the kitchen area. And in true Strangerville fashion, we used the papers scattered about on the floor. Not a rug, but a rug. Like a rug in The Sims, but really just looks like a mess. And I kind of loved it. I think it's time we go ahead and jump into these screenshots. Kind of get these plans put out here and we're done. So let's go. I hope you like this little military tent mobile unit home thingy-majigger that I built. I had a lot of fun building it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was silly. I liked it. In these pictures, you're going to realize that I moved the mirror back over to the other side. Once again, it's behind that curtain, but it's still playable. It's a playable mirror. So don't fret. Don't worry. I got it. I got you. I hope you like this build. I hope you like this video. If you want this build for yourself, you can get it. It's on the gallery. My EA ID is CatXThrash, just like the name here on YouTube. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely keep coming back for more. We are in the middle of these tiny homes. Next up is P for painter. And I realize I have done an artist home before because someone had asked me to do it, but we're doing it again in tiny home fashion. Maybe it'll be a micro home, a little studio. I think that would be fun. Sneak peek, spoilers. Sorry about it. I hope you have a great night wherever you are. Bye, y'all.